Michael Thompson sold the farm. What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Well, I received some news last night. I haven't seen it anywhere, but I'm going to go ahead and just put this video out. I don't know how many of you guys remember Michael Thompson. He was a legend in the California prison system. He was one of the legends for a white organization, or the white organization. He has created an image and a history of himself and his acts and his feats while behind the walls of California prisons, to where he is almost a superhero. True story. He is almost, according to the way he tells the stories, his version of the stories, he was untouchable. He was like the baddest man on earth. And anyone who, I mean, look, he was a part of something. He was a killer. You could only be a killer to get involved in that group, right? And he admits that he was a part of that group, and he did what it took to become a part of that group. So I can't take that from him. But, you know, he told stories of being surrounded by enemies and pulling a bone crusher out of his butt and then stabbing every single one of the enemies. Every one of them he was able to stab, and there was over 10 of them, and this is just one occasion. There was over 10 of them, and he stabbed every single one of them, and then used the blood of his enemies as lubrication to put his knife back up. While the cops were responding, he was able to dip it in all the blood and get it bloody enough to stick right back in. Right. People have been wanting me for years to talk about him. I don't know him. His stories I couldn't react to because he uses the name of that organization too much, and I'm not going to react to somebody who's constantly throwing that name out there, or any of the names of any of the factions. I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to take the time to beep out every time he does that, because he does it so much it's ridiculous, right? Now, 3 years ago, Michael Thompson was charged with fraud, apparently, something along those lines, fraud. And it had to do with over $400,000 worth of unemployment benefit fraud. You can go and check out Vlad TV. Type in Vlad TV, Michael Thompson, and it'll pop up. And I watched a second of it just to refresh my memory. Literally only watched a couple, like maybe 2 minutes of it, maybe. And right in the beginning, Vlad gets on him. You were last year, you were charged, or whatever, you know, but he says you were charged with this. And Michael Thompson says, yes, he was charged with that, and that there is zero evidence and zero proof. Well, you have zero brain cells, because in order to charge somebody, there's got to be some proof, right? And so they charged him. And from what I was told last night, Michael Thompson represented himself in this matter, in this case, and was found guilty on all charges. You know, there's an old legal saying about the guy who represents himself as a fool for a client, right? And I assume that, you know, as Michael Thompson was telling all these tall tales about all the incredible ass shit, superhuman shit that he was doing behind the walls to all the rivals of his faction that he was a part of, somewhere along the line, he must have thought in his head, you know what, he was also an attorney. He was also a high-powered attorney during those. I mean, everything else, he was everything else. So why not be an attorney? And lost all reality, right? The concept of reality is just like fleeting with him. And he just like, yeah, he in his head was like, yes, I was the baddest man ever in the California Department of Corrections, and I was the baddest attorney ever. And according to his mind, maybe he presented cases before the Supreme Court and every other court he could think of while he was incarcerated. And he believed it. You know, it's a shame, man. An individual like that who, you know, behind the walls, he had to have been a bad motherfucker at one point in time to reach the level he reached. And then whatever reason, I don't know much about him. I don't want to know much about him because of the way he's presenting himself. But to have something happen, whether it was by choice or by force, he was no longer a part of that organization. And then he was able to get out of prison to take a shortcut like that. You know, he was found guilty. So I'm just going to say, to take a shortcut like that and choose to defraud the government, that is, look, to go back to committing crimes, period, is a damn shame. Anyone that was a lifer or a long-term offender who had bodies and was able to get back out of prison, for you not to take advantage of that opportunity, for you to basically forget, disregard all of the struggle that you just left behind those walls, and to get out here and decide to come up with another plot, another scheme, to commit another crime. You know, the only things that we deserve in life are those things that we earn. You deserve what you earn. And if you really did do this, and I'm going to go ahead and play devil's advocate. You know, maybe this dude decided to represent himself to try to get grounds for an appeal. I don't know how strong of an argument he's. I mean, I don't know what he would be able to. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, how sometimes people are so smart they're stupid. I've seen that before in prison. Like an individual I was really conversing with, and I was like, this dude's brilliant. But because he knows it, he thinks he can outsmart me and other people, and we see it. And, you know, you have people like that where they're so smart, they're stupid. And they engage other people and they lose. And I feel like Michael Thompson, you engaged the federal government, if, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, if it's true that you came up with a scheme to get almost $500,000 in unemployment benefits, if you really did that, if you really sat down and said, man, I got these motherfuckers, and you chose to have who you were going to work be the government, well, that's as dumb as it gets. Who decides, you know what, it's a great idea to go against the U.S. government? Nobody beats them. So you're going to sit down probably for the rest of your life. I don't know what kind of time you're looking at, but you're an elderly individual, and you have made yourself, you have painted a picture of yourself that you are now a trophy. Whoever was after you before, there's more people after you now. And their motivating factor is their ego. Oh, this is the dude, this old ass man was a bad motherfucker? Okay. The old lion is going to be tested by the young lion. You know what? Wes Watson, Jamie Morgan Kane, and Michael Thompson. Every one of them could have been successful on social media, on YouTube, in society, had they just stuck to the truth when they decide to tell a story. Create a bond with the listener, develop loyalty with them through your sincerity, through your stories, through your life struggles. But no, all three of these guys have decided it's better to embellish. It is better to be the baddest dude every time. Jamie Morgan Kane beat up every single dude that came near him. Michael Thompson stabbed the hell out of every single rival who got in his way. And Wes Watson keistered everything in sight. I don't know, man. That's my video. I honestly don't like seeing ex-convicts resort back to criminality, scheming, being scandalous. And when they do, though, you deserve it. You deserve that jail time or whatever you get, that fine, whatever it is, because you earned it, man. You disregarded everything you went through in order to get back out here. You decided to roll the dice again, and you crapped out. The house won again. They always do when it comes to the criminal world. It's my video for today, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.